Yeah, good evening and welcome to Quiet Voices. We had a little reading here the other night, and then I was looking up some words. I was looking up the word called political, and I wanted to see what the overall word meant when you break it down. So, in doing so, brought me onto the money table, and the money table brought me into the foreign phrases and languages in the Webster Dictionary from the year 2000. And I just was curiously looking into it, and I noticed it was kind of like telling a story. And so I took the liberty and translated each foreign phrase from the book to paper, and came up with about 11 pages front to back of a little, I would say, well, it seems like a story. It seems like somebody had written a story inside the phrases and paragraphs in the Webster Dictionary. And I'm going to try to read it and get through the whole thing and see how it turns out. And this is how it starts. Practices zealously pursued pass into habits. So long from cradle, from infancy to a good cat to a good rat. The retaliation in kind, with open mouth eagerly, uncritically for an egg to apples, from soup to nuts, from beginning to end. With open arms, cordially, let there be no envy or ill will. From one learn to know all, and from the founding of the city in Rome, the reckoning days. Abuse does not take away use, i.e., not an argument against proper use. On account with sure stroke, surely gratuitous impulsive acts at will are arbitrarily to the stars, and by hard ways to the extreme at last, at the Greek calends, never. To the greater glory of God, to his fathers deceased for reference, for further consideration by one having the authority to make a final decision, to or on the right hand, to the fingernail, to a nicety, exactly prepared for either event. To the life a sick man's dreams, to preserve a calm mind, with even mind calmly more lasting than bronze. To or on the left hand, do what you are doing, and to the business at hand, at a great expense. With doors closed, help yourself, and heaven will help you. Elder senior masculine, elder senior feminine. In order carelessly, in disorder. Under the beautiful star, in the open air at night, at a good time, well and good. All right. In the French manner, in the American manner of the American kind, in the English manner, at the page and up to the minute. In the Russian manner, the die is cast, unexpectedly sometimes even good Homer nods. She flies with her own wings, by and by. Love to you, greetings, farewell. Another Christ, second self, from the greatest to the least. Marvelously friend of the human race, a friend as far as to the altars, i.e., except in what is contrary to one's religion. Also a friend to the last extremity, court friend, insecure friend, love of one country, love conquers all things, old-time nobility before 1789, snake in the grass, two-legged animal without feathers, the human race, prepared in mind and resources, one of two. In the specified year of his or her age, in the year of the world reckons creation, fixed by J.U. 4004 BC, by Jews at 3761 BC, in the year of the founded city, Rome, at 753 BC. He, God, has approved our beginnings, the Great Seal of the United States, nearly approximately 1 foot. After me the deluge, apropos of the boots used to change the subject, apropos of nothing forbidden to be, furnished with water and fire, outlawed by both Arcadians. Two persons of like occupations or tastes also, two rascals argument the staff. Appeal to force with ears pricked up attentively till we meet again. Farewell. It is true art to conceal art. art is long, life is short. From behind, wrong and crossfire at random without rhyme or reason. At the end of one's Latin, at the end of one's mental resources. And on the contrary, we dare defend our rights. Fortune favors the bold. Hear the other side to the point, fully competent, fully informed, socially correct at the bottom, fundamentally, in all serious, on best terms. On intimate terms, in the country of the blind, the one-eyed men are kings, the golden mean for the rest. Besides, seriously, an omen of a better age. No soon said than done, either an Caesar or a nobody. Other times, other customs, either to conquer or to die. To arms before the letter, before a specified name existed prefacely. Hail and farewell to your health. Use as a toast beautiful eyes, beauty of face, fine appearance or impression. Beautiful ugly woman who is attractive, though not conventionally beautiful. War of all against all, well understood, of course. Right-minded, one who holds orthodox views, proprietary, well regarded, he gives twice, who gives promptly. Good appetite, enjoy your meal, whether with good grace or bad, willy-nilly. Under the good auspices, good day, good morning, good faith, good evening, insensible thunderbolt, a futile threat or a display of force, the question drops, the argument collapses, capable of anything unpredictable. Identity card, an indispensable cause or condition. It goes without saying. Let the reader beware the dog. Let arms yield to the toga. Let military power give way to civil power. It is only the first steps that costs. This is to say, namely, that a different thing, that's war. It cannot be helped, that's life. That's not how things happen. It is worse than a crime. It is a blunder. The rest is missing everyone to his taste. Castle in Spain, a visionary project. Look for the woman. What will be, will be. Warhorse argument constantly relied on. Favorite subject. Here lies preceding tombstone name, I think, therefore I exist. The human comedy. The whole variety of the human life is the tearful comedy, the sentimental comedy, so-so, traveling companion. Report, discordant harmony, confession of faith, contempt for the world. The corruption of the best is the worst of all. The master stroke experiment, trial, cost what it may. I believe it because it is absurd. I believe so that I may understand. It grows as it goes. Crisis of consciousness. Agonizing period of moral uncertainty. Crisis of nerves. Nervous collapse. Hysterical fit. Crux or critics. Whole regions, his or her religions. Subjects are to accept the religion of their ruler with a grain of salt. Course of honor, successions of officers of increasing importance. Guardian of manners or moral, censor in accord, agreed. Lady in waiting, they condemn what they do not understand with good grace. Willing, there is no disputing about tastes. By the grace of God, anew, afresh, a fresh audacity, more audacity, and ever more audacity. Carthage must be destroyed. He or she drew it from the bad to worse. The law takes no account of trifles of the dead. Say nothing but good of our time. Positively, proper name with God's favor, thanks be to God out of the depths. The spirit that ever denies. Applied originally to the Mephistopheles to indulge in a trifling at the proper time. The hidden God, God unknowable by the human mind. God wills it. Rallying cry of the first crusade. Lucky day, unlucky day. Used of the judgment day, God am I right, God keep you, I direct. The gods decreed otherwise, harmonious discord. Harmony or unity gained by combining disparate and conflicting elements. God enriches. Divide and rule. We learn by teaching. Sweet new style. Lord, direct us. The Lord be with you. It is sweet and seemly to die for one's country. While I breathe, I hope. While we live, let us live. Of a certain age, no longer young. A woman was leader of the exploit. Behold the sign. Look at the proof. On the contrary, crush the infamous thing, alas. The fleeting years glide on, a mighty fortress is our God. Embarrassing surplus of riches, confusing abundance, embarrassing variety of choice as a friend. In fact, indeed, in or with one's family at home, informally loved or pampered child, one that is highly favored, spoiled child, lost children, soldiers sent to a dangerous post. In conclusion, in a word, or as like a bachelor on guard, in slippers at ease informally, in the open air in broad day, in a diplomatic post in order in due form, behind time, laid in retreat, in retirement, in return, in compensation, and in second marriage. With the sword she seeks calm repose under liberty, and the sword we seek peace, but peace only under liberty. By that itself, by that fact alone, to shock the middle classes, one out of many. And what yet it does move, Galileo recants till doomsday. There, to err is to human wit of the star case. Repartee thought of only too late on the way home. To be rather than to seem, there is a proper measure in things, i.e. the golden mean should always be observed. May she endure forever in everything of this kind. I too lived in Arcadia, and so of like things. Thou too, Brutus, his friend among the sards, I have found it. The eternal feminine, emotionally excited and elated, fanatic from the heart, sincerely still higher, and an exception establishes the rule as things not expected with the proper or necessary exemptions. The outcome justifies the deed from the book of, used of the book plates. Out of mere impulse of one's accord, from the necessity of the case, from nothing, nothing is produced. From the foot we may judge the size of Hercules. From a part we may judge of the whole. Believe one who has had experience. Trust me. From the claw we may judge of the lion. From a part we may judge of the whole. From the force of the term, easily first, the descent to Avernus is easy. The road to evil is easy. Manner of speaking figurative or conventional expressions have forwarded. Please forward. It is the right to learn even from an enemy. The fates will find always. Deeds are males and words are females. Deeds are more effective than words. Pretend, good fellow, superciliously so, affectedly childlike, artfully and simple. Fortunate fault, the consequences coming of Christ. The chambermaid, lady's maid, make haste. Slowly, fireworks display of wit. Let experiment be made on a worthless body. Let justice be done through the heavens fall. Let there be light, defenders of the faith. Faithful Arcades, trust thee, friend. Lady's maid, the maid of honors and sons, consider the end. The end crowns the work. May he, she, or it flourish, followed by a name. If it is tossed by then the waves, but does not sink, delusion or greatness, the megalomania. Military strikes force with nuclear weapons, perhaps this will be a pleasure to look back on one day. Fortune favors the brave. No reliance can be placed on appearance. Troy has been, is no more. Rage for speaking, poetic frenzy. Rage for writing, the gallows are in humor. In French, after the French manner. Bridegroom attendant, bodyguard. Keep faith, let us be merry. Church people, clergy, military people, soldiery, people of the world, fashionable people, know thyself. Taste of the earth, great school, great world, high society, roughly war to the uttermost. Good day, goodbye, high popularization, high flavor, slight taint of decay. Here and now, and here and everywhere, here lies, hence those tears. Do this, apply yourself to what you are about. This is the hard works, this is the toil. Man of business, business agent, man of wit, the average non-intellectual man. I am a human being. I regard nothing of human concern as foreign to my interests. Shame be he who thinks evil of it. Honest man, respectable and honorable citizen of the middle class, outside the trade, not offered through regular commercial channels, to err is to human. I serve. French is spoken here. Received ideas, conventionally opinions, that is ignorance of the law's excuse, and no one explaining the unknown by means of the more unknown. We must cultivate our garden. We must tend to our own affairs. They shall not get past. Forever in doubt, undetermined in the future by the sign of the cross, you will conquer on the threshold. At the beginning, poignant intimacy of feeling in music, ready for all things in the regions of the infidels, the non-Christians at the present time, for ages of ages, forever and ever. If Allah wills, God willing, in the same state as before, the war upright of life and free from wickedness between ourselves. Within the walls, for the use of the offering expurgated, prepared for either event, he or she devised it. There is truth in wine, Minavira being unwilling, without natural talents or inspiration. The very words anger is a brief madness. I accuse bitter denunciation. The die is cast. I adjust behind closed doors. I will maintain. Play on the words, the pun. John is his name. Good-looking, ugly woman, woman who is attractive though not conventionally pretty. Intimate journal, private diary, divine law, justice for all. Here I am, here I remain. Children, church, kitchen, a possession forever. Work of art or literature of enduring significance. The beautiful lady without mercy. To work is to pray. Labor conquers all things. Tears for things. Pity for misfortune. Also tears in things. Tragedy of life, letting go. Lack of restraint, slip of the tongue. The queen wills it. Abandon all hope. Ye who enter one praises past times. Praise be to God, life world of lived experiences. The heart has its reasons that reason knows nothing of. The king is dead. Long live the king. The king wills it, the king will consider. The style is the man, the state it is I, the star of the north, the wreath of the songs, in the G singing society the written letter abides. Place in the written which union makes strength, freak of nature, my faith indeed truth is mighty and will prevail the shadow of the great name. Thank you. Private hospitals, asylum, imaginary invalid, hypochondriac, under evil auspices, badly regarded, disapproved of hand-to-hand in direct competition or confrontation, German spoken, marriage of convenience, complacent husband, cuckold who accepts his wife's infidelity, bad shame, bashfulness, bad quarter hour, an uncomfortable though brief experience, nothing in excess. You will go most safely by the middle course. I being judge, in my judgment, a sound mind and a sound body, one who plets on the stage, director of the play or film, mine and thine, distinction of private property. Wonderful to behold wonders, miracles, mores, attributes, customs, and manners of a society. It collapses from its own bigness, the world-fashionable society. Mountaineers are always free. A monument more lasting than bronze, of an immortal work of art or literature in his or her own manner. We who, or those, are much about to die salute thee. Much in little, imaginary museum, with the naked change the story applies to you. Overwhelming mystery, you may drive nature out with a pitchfork, but she will keep coming back. Nature makes no leaps, yield not to misfortunes. No one attacks me with impunity, not anything in excess. Isn't it so? Not true. Isn't it so to be excited by nothing? Equanimity, never despair. Nothing without the divine will. It's no matter unwilling or willing, willy-nilly. We can't all do all things. I shall not wholly die, not without right. I am not what I used to be. I know thyself. Yearning for the mud, attraction to what is not worthy, crusade or degrading. We have changed all that. We shall see what we shall see. New man, noble, upstart, a new cycle of ages. The trifles, the white nights, the sleepless nights, Russian, no. Oh, the height of the feeling of the spiritual exaltation, he or she died, explaining the obscure by means of the more obscure. Let them hate so long as they fear. I hate and I love. Submission is everything unknown is taken. as grand. The unknown tends to be exaggerated in importance of difficulty. All things are changing, and we are changing with them. Love conquers all, the burden of proof. Pray for us with round mouths, eloquently gold and silver. Oh, the times, oh, the manners. Leisure with dignity, where are the snows of yesteryears? Overseas, distant lands, the pale deaths, bearded and are bred in circuses. All things are in flux in advance. By anticipation, by the airplane used on airmail, for example, partaken for the whole, the mountains are in labor, and the ridiculous mouse will be brought forth. Fathers of this country, in a few words, peace be with you. Strong in hard punishment, torture through difficulties to honors. Fathers, may they perish who have expressed our bright ideas before us. The hours pass away and are reckoned on our account. Perfidious Albine, little by little, England, a trifle piece for a special occasion, justificatory paper, documents serving as evidence, set piece, food shaped or arranged. He or she printed it, room for the ladies will full right. The more that changes, the more it's the same. More royalists than king. Few words, a poet is born, not made. Point of reference with thumbs turned down, with a gesture or expression of condemnation after this. Therefore, on account of fallacy of agreement. After death, receive payment for merit for laughing, not to be taken seriously. The first thing is to do no harm. For altars and firesides, for the public good, for this occasion, for one's country, for the king, for the law, and for the people. For an occasion that has arisen, as needed even so, all the same how changed from what he was once, as much as suffices, a sufficient quantity, he knows, who knows, does something through another, does it through himself. Who will keep the keepers themselves? He excuses himself, accuses himself. Who shall separate us? He who has transplanted sustains. As far as this, to the extent which was to be proved, which has to be done, what has been held always, everywhere, by everybody, which see in which I played a great part, those whom my God wishes to destroy, he first drives mad. There are as many opinions as there are men. Whether you are going, reason the state of to draw back into the order of make a better jump. The people rule, the business being unfinished without accomplishing one's purpose. Religious sanctity of a place. You have touched the point with a needle. You have hit the nail on the head. Reply if you please. May he or she rest in peace and look to the end. Consider the outcome. I shall rise again. Self-restraint, reserve, let us return to our sheep. Let us get back to the subject. War stratagem, country in the city, the fierce indignation and addict salt wit, dining room, the salon of the refused exhibition of art that has been rejected by an official body, deadly jump, full somersaults, dangerous or crucial undertaking. Let the welfare of the people be supreme, holy simplicity, ironically, naive, without doubt, without embarrassment or constraint, without fear and without reproach, without worry. Goodbye. He or she carved it. Thou hast crowned us with the shield of the God's will, according to the art, according to the accepted practice of a profession or trade, according to nature, naturally. In self-defense, Spanish spoken, always the same, feminine, always faithful, always the same, always prepared. Even if it is not true, it is well conceived, this one goes to the stars, such is the way to immortality. Thus ever to tyrants. So passes away the glory of the world. As to our fathers, may God be told. If youth only knew, if age only could. The laws are silent in most of arms. If you please, like is cured by like takes pleasure in like. If you seek his monument, look around of which he was architect. Simplistically, overly, simple or naive, if you seek a beautiful peninsula, look around. Stop, traveler, if you wish peace. Prepare for war. It is solved by walking. The problem is solved by practical experiment. Nobly untruthful, Rich spoils the arms taken by the victorious from the vanquished general. The mother was standing, El and him, state in which the state existing before the war, the tone, the mood, the atmosphere, gently in manner, strongly indeed under the word. There are tears for things, tears attended trials, in his or own right. It is proper place one's own excursions, in place on the spot, to each his own. So much the better, so much the worse. Too bad the times are changing, and we are changing with them. Time that devours all things. Time flies. I fear the Greeks even when they bring gifts, in so many words, with all one's might by the whole extent of the heavens, diametrically always partridge to much of the good thing. Circuit of the horizon, general survey, all expenses defrayed altogether. Quite the contrary, wholly yours. At your service, everything well done or nothing attempted. To understand all this is to forgive all, quite short and nothing more simply, just also brusquely, all the same, nevertheless immediately, all at once, consecutively and altogether. General effect, all is lost, save honor, and all the world everybody. Treason of the intellectual slice of life, three joined in one. Melancholy day is pushed forth by day, one day hurries another. I will defend the life of the land is perpetuated righteousness above everything else. Superman, the final argument of kings, i.e. war and so on, with one mind. Unanimously to the city of Rome at the world, to everyone the useful with the agreed, as below as above. Get thee behind me, Satan, coming and going, active movement. Traffic woe to the vanquished, variant reading woman is ever a fickle, changeable thing. See Naples and then die. I came, I saw, I conquered. Belly to the ground, a very great speed. Word for word, and letter for letter, a word to the wise is sufficient. Old game, old hat. Truth conquers all things, bond of marriage, wine of the locality, untouched virgin. By valor and arms, the healing power of nature. New life, long live the differences between the sexes. Long live the queen, long live the king. Brave men live before Agamemnon, and the gallery be kept rowing. Keep on, whatever may happen, that's all pleasure. Sensually contrived or forced voice, and nothing more. The voice of the people is the voice of God. Year of wandering conception of the word freedom, from the value of its judgments, ethical, neutral, how goes it? Learning, science, wonderful.